Nick Wright, how concerned should Patriots fans be?
Well, obviously, they should be greatly concerned. They have a coaching staff in upheaval. They have an expensive but totally unimpressive receiving core. And they have, at absolute best, at most charitable, the 9th best quarterback in their own conference. And this is where we have to start the week off on a sour note. Can I see my friend Kevin Wildes? Because Wildes' was started last night salty and then kept the energy going this morning. He was, it was really uncomfortable. He seemed to be accusing our producers of yellow journalism. Like, listen, if you guys want to put the word struggle in the question, you can, but I'd like to see where it said Mac was struggling. Why? It was like it was Spanish-American War all over again. It was never reported. No. The guy's having issues and he's laboring. And the Providence Journal, that bastion of tabloid journalism, the Providence Journal has had article after article about the offense being behind the defense. And Wild just won't stand for it because America. And this is where I will throw to Wild. But I just have to tell our audience something. I did not realize until last night and this morning that the baby goat, Mac Jones is going to be great, all that stuff. I quietly thought it was a bit. I thought Wildes was leaning into the absurdity that his obviously mediocre quarterback on his obviously mediocre team was actually going to be great. But Wildes really believes it. And he is getting angrier and angrier the longer I speak. So, yeah, of course they should be concerned. And, of course, this is a big problem. But, Wildes, tell me I'm wrong. Explain it to me, my friend.
No. Oh, you know what? I am very nervous. Moments of uncertainty. Oh my goodness. What was the score of the game? Oh, we don't keep score because it's practice? Then I think we're okay. It's a brand new offense, Coach. Do I expect it to come out of the gates 100%? No. And guess what? To be a little Allen Iverson-esque. We're talking about practice. Mac Jones is trying stuff out in practice, and when I throw it to you after this long soliloquy I'm about to deliver, I'd like you to back me up on that. Here's Mac Jones last Tuesday and how he practices. I know what I'm looking for, and sometimes I try different things in practice that I wouldn't try in the game. And that's the whole point of practice. Emphasis mine. Then we talk about Mac's dramatic improvement. How is he taking a step back? Well, I went back and wrote down all of the compliments Bill Belichick gave him during that press conference last week. Here's how they flowed. He did a great job. He worked extremely hard. And that includes his physical work, his conditioning, his mechanics, his footwork, his understanding of the offense, defense, and situational football. He's got a tremendous work ethic, and he's made tremendous strides. Now, I understand, Coach, there are some stats out there. We're keeping stats in practice now. That the defense is ahead of the offense, and he didn't look great on 11-on-11 versus 7-on-7. On the board, the Patriots, who had the second best scoring defense in the entire league, might have a good defense. So it's actually good. I would be more concerned, Coach, if Mac Jones is lighting up our defense without J.C. Jackson there. I'd be very, very nervous. But it seems like the defense is there. So I feel okay. I know everyone's got their knives sharpened for Patricia. I get it. But Mac Jones is trying stuff out in practice. It's practice after all. Belichick said he made dramatic strides, and our defense is pretty good. So am I nervous? On a scale of 1 to 100, I'll throw you a bone. 3. There we go. So we're on the same page. I don't want to be like, really at you. 3. 3 on a scale of 1 to 100, Coach.
Well, there's a lot of things I need to respond to here. First of all, the idea that this is an entirely new offense, it's so far from an entirely new offense. It is exactly the same offense that they have run since Bill's been there. Now, maybe there's been some evolution, but you can throw that part out. So it is the same exact offense he had last year. He may be trying a few new things because that is part of training camp. And you can also look at it is one reporter's evaluation of an offensive unit, which he doesn't really understand. He doesn't have the insight as to what they are running, who made the mistakes, what type of things, what they were looking for. So you have to take that evaluation with a grain of salt. Now, all of that being said, there should be some significant progress. The guy's got a year in the system, plus a spring, plus he's worked with the majority of these guys. You should see some strides in the offense, even though typically they start behind the defense. Should be making some gains and having some good days.
Yeah.
That's part of it. Now there's an issue here where if Mac Jones does struggle, who's he going to? Who's gonna help him through it? And the only guy I could find on the staff was Brian Hoyer, and he's the backup quarterback. But besides that, there's 5 offensive coaches that left, and so there's a lot of things going on here, Wildes, and your concern should be a little bit higher than maybe it is.
Of course they should. And listen, and Coach is right that we don't know exactly what they're running in practice, and so it's hard for the reporters from the sideline to totally fairly evaluate it. However, for most teams' training camps, when you throw a pass, you want it to be caught. And so if a pass ends up incomplete, usually that means something went awry. And Wildes is right. When they have gone to, according to all the reports, again, I'm not there in New England, but I can read the reports. When they have gone to 11 on 11 is when Mac has struggled, which is only problematic if the NFL plans this year to continue the philosophy of playing 11 on 11. Now, maybe they'll make a change, make an adjustment, go 7 on 7, Texas high school football style, and then it'll be all rosy for Mac. But listen, Wildes, at its very baseline, your beloved New England Patriots, as I said, have at best the 9th best quarterback in the conference. Vegas says they're projected to be better than the following teams in the AFC. I'll give you the full list of teams Vegas likes them more than. Houston, Jacksonville, the Jets, and the Steelers.
Vegas take on
that's it. Okay. No, that's it. Listen, man, it's just,
No, where did Vegas have the Bengals last year? No, where did the Vegas have the Bengals?
Oh, yeah.
They had the Bengals going to the Super Bowl.
You're right
Just
about that.
With the early
and the
Vegas
Bengals
stuff.
have Joe Burrow.
Practice.
Okay, that's fine. Then we can take the early Vegas stuff out. But I also saw you went to the 9th best quarterback take. Is Mac Jones better than any of the 4 quarterbacks in the AFC West? Of course not. Is Mac Jones better than Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, or Deshaun Watson? Of course not. Is Mac Jones better than Josh Allen? That's 8. And I haven't even mentioned Matt Ryan. I haven't mentioned Ryan Tannehill. I haven't even mentioned my guy, Trevor Lawrence. I'll give him ahead of all those guys. His best case is that he's the no, I didn't know Wildes. We get to 9 without mentioning those guys.
Fair competition?
I'm just saying if we want to err on the other side. No, that's fine, pal. No, it's fine. Listen, Coach, I think the Patriots, who ended last year losing 4 out of 5 games by an average of 15 points, and their big offseason acquisition was Devontae Parker, and they lost the best player on the team, J.C. Jackson, and they lost their offensive coordinator. I think there's a ton of reason for optimism. You know what? I think I'm being unfair. Wildes, you know what? He shouldn't be a 3 on 100. It should be a 1.
Well, look, Mac Jones doesn't need to be better than those guys that you said. He just needs to be better than he was last year, and that's really what this is about, because the things that you're asked to do in New England are the things that those other teams are asking you to do. So you'd like to see progress on his part, but you made a good point. He struggled down the stretch, including the playoff game, and he was almost the same number of touchdowns as picks during that run. I think his best game, his biggest game during that period was the win against Jacksonville, and you can put an asterisk there. But that is a concern going into the offseason the way that he did. Now there is this uncertainty in terms of where he's going to go to find the answers that he needs. And now, Mac Jones has a lot of answers, and he's not worried about it. And to me, that should be your concern too, Wildes. He's very comfortable with he could lose everybody, and it doesn't matter to Mac Jones. He's just going to keep striding on.
Look, I think it's fair, and you guys make some good points about how he struggled, down the stretch. I think, Jenna, he could also, if he can't look inside the Patriots organization, perhaps he could call up some of the other superstars in the league that he played with in the Pro Bowl.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.